Cuckoo was weird. Really weird. And it was not at all what I was expecting after the trailer. But behind all the weirdness, I felt like there were some interesting messages on grief, control, and most importantly, belonging. Through its stories, scenes, and blend of genres, Cuckoo purposefully and seemingly accidentally comments on what it means to belong to something and what it means to be out of place. We follow Gretchen, a teenager grieving the recent loss of her mother and her life as she knew it, as she moves to a remote town in Germany with her estranged father, her new stepmother, and her young stepsister Alma, whom she finds burdensome. From the very get-go, it is clear to both us and her that she doesn't belong and that she's not okay. Gretchen's grief is tormenting her, and she doesn't appear to be in a place or with people from which she can move past it. She is never accepted and never at home. Her father and the world around her seem to constantly blame her for everything, even if she is not at fault. And because she is so unwanted here, she always ends up resorting back to the only place she can find a sense of belonging: her past. Whether it be through calling her dead mother's voicemail just to hear her voice again, or blasting the music she used to play with her band to silence the world around her, Gretchen is constantly reaching back. She looks for comfort in the pieces of her life that no longer exist, because the life she's in now doesn't seem to have room for her. But beyond Gretchen, where Cuckoo thrives, is in the fact that no one and nowhere seems to fit in. Because Cuckoo builds its fear and tension through a sense of uncomfortable comfort. There is always something just a bit off about everything and everyone. The people seem to be caricatures and hiding what's truly behind their masks. The buildings seem fake, as though there is nothing behind their walls, and even the nature surrounding them doesn't feel natural. They're not so overbearingly out of place that we can't let the settings and characters in, but just enough that we always feel it in the back of our minds, never able to be at peace and feel fully safe with it. This allows what is not a typically scary environment, with predominantly bright and beautiful scenery, to play host to frights and uncertainty. The unsettling nature of people like her Koenig is brought to the spotlight, as it shows how predatory and controlling behaviors can be hidden in broad daylight, and even supported by people and systems around them. Then there's the horrors in the humanoid cuckoo birds themselves. Although not overly scary, and at first seemingly just looking like an older woman chasing people around, the small details like the red eyes, the jittery movements, and the neck pulsing calls slowly create the mystique and fear around these oddly placed creatures. Nothing fits in. Not the people, not the monsters, and in a way, not even the movie itself. I actually don't know where Cuckoo belongs, or if it needs to. It feels like it's making some interesting commentary, but it also feels like it's missing the mark on many points. It's a fusion of very different genres, and that overlap definitely creates some unique scenes and emotions, but there's a lot of it that doesn't work. The more welcoming and jovial coming-of-age style makes the movie more fun, but maybe slightly too soft-edged for some of the heavier themes that it's reaching for. The whole cuckoo humanoid concept is interesting, but nowhere near fleshed out enough to feel like something we can truly understand or get invested in. And the effects, such as the throat pulsing, whilst very unique and interesting at first, feel like they lose their charm after the fourth or fifth time they're repeated. This builds towards a climax that feels messy, conflicted, and uncertain, leaving you not quite sure what outcome to root for, and with more questions than answers. But in a strange way, because of that messiness, one message came through even clearer. By the end, Gretchen isn't suddenly healed, and the world around her hasn't magically changed, but she begins to see a new path. Through her revelations about Alma, she finds new purpose and realizes there can be a place for her in the world. One that doesn't require her to keep calling a voicemail that won't answer or to live in the shadows of people who refuse to see her. Step by step, Gretchen is able to overcome the control that her past, her surroundings, and those around her have had, and starts looking for life in front of her rather than looking back for it. Because sometimes the only place we belong is the one we make for ourselves.